I never thought my life would matter to anyone. I worked small jobs, paid late bills, and slept in a rented room that smelled like old paint. I told myself pride was enough when money wasn't. Most days, silence followed me home. That changed the day Lily climbed into my back seat and said, "You're not like the others." I laughed. "Others who?" She looked out the window and said, "People who don't listen." I was hired as her driver first. Then she asked, "Can you help me with math?" Then, "Can you explain this book?" Soon, it became, "Why do adults lie so much?" I said, "Because truth costs them something." She smiled. "You don't lie." "I can't afford to," I said. Lily lived in a mansion that felt colder than my room. One day she said, "This house hates me." "Houses don't hate," I replied. "People do." She nodded slowly. "You sound like you know." "I listen," I said. She stared at me. "That's rare." During drives, she talked. I listened. "My mom is never here," she said. "My stepdad says it's for my own good." "Does it feel like it?" I asked. She shook her head. "It feels like a cage." One afternoon, she whispered, "Don't tell anyone this." "I won't," I said. "He watches everything," she added. I asked quietly, "Does he hurt you?" She hesitated. "Not where people can see." My hands tightened on the wheel. "That's still hurting." She didn't answer. She didn't need to. After that, she trusted me with silence. Long drives. Soft music. Questions whispered like secrets. I never crossed a line. I never tried to be more than what I was. I just stayed. "That's why I feel safe," she said once. "Because I drive slow?" I joked. "No," she said. "Because you see me." That stayed with me. Ethan noticed the change in me. "You're smiling again," he said over cheap beer. "Am I?" I asked. "You are," he said. "That worries me." I frowned. "Why?" "Because rich families eat people like us," he said. "Don't get involved." "I'm not involved," I said. "I'm helping." He shook his head. "That's how it starts." I didn't tell him about Lily flinching at footsteps, or how she whispered, "If I disappear, no one will notice." "I would," I told her. She searched my face. "You promise?" "I do," I said. Helping her gave my life shape. I woke up early. I planned days. I felt needed. That scared me more than being broke. I knew hope was dangerous. The call came after midnight. My phone rang. I stared at it. Then I answered. "Lily." Her voice broke. "Please. I can't stay here." I sat up. "What happened?" "He knows," she whispered. "He knows I told you." My heart slammed. "Are you safe?" "No," she said. "Please come." I stared at the wall. Every warning screamed in my head. Ethan's voice. The law. Fear. "Where are you?" I asked. "My room," she cried. "He's downstairs." I closed my eyes. "I'm coming." "You won't leave me?" she asked. "I won't," I said. I grabbed my keys. My hands shook. I hesitated for 1 second. Then I opened the door and stepped into the night.
The moment Lily slid into my car, she said, "Drive. Please don't stop." "I've got you," I said, trying to keep my voice steady. Her hands shook. He was yelling. He said I was ungrateful. I checked the mirrors. "Did he follow?" I don't know," she whispered. I was scared. "Not taking you far," I said, "just somewhere safe." She nodded. "Anywhere but there, eh?" We drove in silence until she finally asked, "Am I in trouble?" I said too fast. "You didn't do anything wrong." "What if he calls the police?" she asked. "I'll explain," I said. "I'll call social services in the morning. You won't leave me?" She asked. "I won't," I said, even though fear sat heavy in my chest. The motel sign flickered. She stared at it. "This looks bad. It's temporary," I said. "Just one night." Inside the room, she sat on the bed and hugged her knees. "I'm sorry," she said. "I ruined your life." "You didn't," I said. "Sit tight. I'll make some calls tomorrow. She looked at me. Promise? I promise, I said. I slept on the chair. I didn't close my eyes fully. Every sound made my heart race. Before dawn, red and blue lights flashed through the curtains. What's that? Lily whispered. My stomach dropped. Stay calm. A loud knock hit the door. Police. Open up. I opened it slowly, guns pointed. At my chest, hands up, someone shouted, "What's going on?" They pulled me out. Gravel cut my face. Cold metal snapped around my wrists. Wait, I yelled. This is a mistake. Shut up. An officer said. I heard someone say, "Kidnapper secured." That word hit harder than the ground. What? I shouted, "No." She asked me to help. Lily cried, "Tell them the truth." A man stepped forward. He wore a calm smile and expensive shoes. That's him, he said. That's the man who took my stepdaughter. I stared at him. Lying. Mr. Hale looked at me like he won. Warned you to stay away. You abused her, I yelled. She ran from you. He shook his head sadly. He's manipulating her. Get him away from her, Hale said. They dragged me to a car. Lily screamed my name until the door slammed shut. At the station, they sat me in a cold room. Detective. Ross entered. Name, I told him. Why did you kidnap the girl? He asked. I didn't, I said. She called me. Funny, he replied. Her stepfather says otherwise. He's lying, I said. Check my phone. Ross held it up. Already did. You took her across town. She asked me to, I said. I was going to call. Social services. You didn't, he said. I was going to, I repeated. He leaned back. Why you? I was her driver, I said. Her tutor. Convenient, he said. She was scared, I said. I trusted me, Ross stared. That's what predators say. I felt sick. I'm not like that. Everyone says that, he replied. Hours passed. My phone was sealed in a bag. My words went nowhere. Through the glass, I saw Mr. Hale laughing with an officer. Ross returned. Charges are being prepared. You're wrong, I said quietly. Tell it to the judge, he replied. They led me to a cell. The door slammed. I sat on the bench and whispered, I only wanted to help. No one answered. CH3, the first headline, called me a monster. Ethan showed it to me on his phone and said, Don't read the comments. I read them anyway. Lock him up. Disgusting. People like him deserve worse. Her? I whispered. They don't know me. They don't want to, Ethan said. I lost my job that same day. My manager wouldn't meet my eyes. It's bad for business, he said. I didn't do it, I replied. He sighed. I believe you want to believe that. At home, my landlord taped an eviction notice to my door. Neighbors crossed the street when they saw me. A woman I'd greeted for years spat near my feet. Stay away from kids, she said. I said nothing. My phone stopped ringing. My mother didn't answer when I called. My sister texted once. I can't be involved. Ethan sat with me on the floor and said, You're not alone. I laughed bitterly. Feels like I am. You've got me, he said. That's one, I replied. A week later, I met Maya. She looked tired before I even spoke. I'm your public defender, she said. I've read the file, and I asked. She hesitated. It's not great. I didn't kidnap her, I said. I know, she replied softly. But knowing isn't proving. I leaned forward. She called me. She ran. Maya nodded. Her stepfather has influence, so I'm done, I asked. I didn't say that, she said. I said it's uphill. In the holding area, Ethan whispered, She's trying. I whispered back, Trying doesn't save me. At night, I replayed Lily's voice. Please don't leave me, I asked myself. Should I have stayed away? Question never stopped. Court. Felt like theater. Mr. Hale cried on cue. She was manipulated, he said, wiping dry eyes. I shouted, That's a lie. The judge banged the gavel. Enough. Judge Carter looked down at me like I was paperwork. Trial is set, he said. No bail reduction, Maya whispered. I'm sorry. I nodded, hollowed outside. Reporters yelled, Do you regret it? I said, I regret trusting the wrong people. No one printed that. That night, Ethan said, They're crushing you. said they already did. I stared at the ceiling and realized the truth didn't matter. Money did, power did, and I had neither. I closed my eyes and wondered. I walked into the courtroom already defeated. Ethan whispered, "Whatever happens, keep breathing." "I am," I said. "Barely." Maya adjusted her files and said, "Today decides everything."
Nice.
A rep. My future felt worse. Mr. Hale sat across the room, didn't look at me. He smiled. I stared at the floor and told myself, this is it. Judge Carter entered. Proceed. Before anyone spoke, a deep sound rolled through the walls. At first, I thought it was thunder. Then someone whispered, "What's that?" Sirens cut off outside. The ground seemed to hum. A bailiff rushed in. "Your Honor, traffic is blocked." Judge Carter frowned. "Why?" The hum grew louder. Engines. Many of them people stood. Phones came out. "What is happening?" Maya whispered. I shook my head. "I don't know." A clerk ran in, breathless. 10 vehicles just stopped outside. Mr. Hale snapped, "This is a courtroom." Then the doors opened. A woman walked. And like she owned the air, she said my name. "I'm sorry it took so long." I froze. "Who are you?" She turned to the judge. "Mrs. Blackwood." The room gasped. She faced me again. "Lily's mother." My chest locked. "You're real?" She nodded. Very Mr. Hale stood. "This is inappropriate." She looked at him and said, "Sit." Down he did. She spoke calmly. "I've been overseas. I just learned what you did." Maya whispered, "She's a billionaire." Mrs. Blackwood handed files to the clerk. "Recordings? Medical reports?" Judge Carter cleared his throat. "Proceed." She looked at me. "You protected my daughter," I whispered. "I tried." "You succeeded," she said. Mr. Hale shouted. "She's lying." She tapped a button. A recording played. "Lily's voice," cried Mr. Hale's voice, threatened. The room went silent. Mrs. Blackwood said, "That's just one." Judge Carter leaned forward. "Mr. Hale," he said nothing. She turned to me. "They called you a monster." I swallowed. "They did," she said. "You're not." Mr. Hale started sweating. Judge Carter said, "We need a recess." Mrs. Blackwood said no. She faced the judge. "This ends today." The judge hesitated, then nodded. For the first time, I felt weight lift. I wasn't alone anymore. CH5 Mr. Hale didn't smile anymore. He stood when the judge spoke and said, "This is a misunderstanding." Mrs. Blackwood replied, "You misunderstand consequences." Judge Carter adjusted his glasses. "We will hear the additional charges." A prosecutor listed them. Abuse, coercion, false reporting, obstruction. Mr. Hale shook his head. "This is a setup." I watched his hands tremble. Reporters whispered behind me. Maya leaned close and said, "They're done protecting him." Mr. Hale turned to me and hissed, "You planned this?" I said quietly, "You did?" He looked away. Lily was called to testify. She walked past me and whispered, "I'm sorry." I said, "You don't owe me anything." She took the stand and cried. He's scared. "Me!" Mr. Hale shouted. "She's confused." Judge Carter snapped, "Enough!" Lily looked at me through tears. "You saved me." My chest hurt. I wanted to say something. I didn't. Mrs. Blackwood stood. "My daughter is done being silent." The judge nodded. Mr. Hale's lawyer whispered to him and left. He panicked. "Wait." Officers stepped closer. I felt nothing. No joy, no anger, just tired. Mrs. Blackwood faced me outside the courtroom. Your name is cleared, I nodded. Thank you. She said, I can compensate you. I shook my head. Money, she paused. Then take peace. Mr. Hale was led away in cuffs. He looked at me once. Broken. I finally breathed. I wake up early now, Ethan once asked. Why so early? I said, because mornings don't judge me. He laughed. That's new. I go to therapy twice a week. The therapist asked, what do you feel today? I said, tired but honest. Nodded. That's progress. I work at a repair shop. My boss said, you don't talk much. I said, I'm learning how. He replied, good skill. People recognize me sometimes. One man whispered, you're that guy, I said. He nodded and walked away. Maya still calls? She said, you healing? I answered, slow. She replied, slow lasts. Ethan stays over some nights, he asked. Do you hate them? I said, I don't want to. He nodded. That's strength. Some nights I remember the cell, I tell myself, you survived. What? Morning, a letter arrived. My hand shook, it said, thank you for saving me. I sat down. Lily wrote, you saw me when no one did. I whispered, I'm glad. She added, I'm safe now. I closed my eyes. I almost became angry once. Ethan stopped me and said, don't. I listened. Money never saved me. Truth did. I walk past the courthouse. I say quietly, I'm free. And I keep walking forward.